trillions, but it's all happening.
Sure. And as I say in my column today, you know, basically all of the safeguards that were put in place by the Founding Fathers to protect our freedoms constitutionally have dissipated one by one, and to the point that now, as I see it, Alex, we only have two defenses left. And I think, number one, we have state autonomy, state sovereignty. And I think what Jan Brewer and her fellow Arizonans are doing is just the first shot across the bow. It won't be the last.
And it's got the globalists scared, and other states are lining up saying...
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at Montana and Tennessee that passed the Firearms Freedom Act in their state. You got a legislator in the state of Georgia who's passing similar legislation, except it deals with all products, not just firearms. I mean, I would guess to say there are probably over 20 states right now that are in various stages of declaring independence and sovereignty to resist this Leviathan that's in Washington, D.C. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing, of course, is what the founders said in the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. And that was not for the purpose of duck hunting or target shooting. That was for the purpose of protecting ourselves against the totalitarian tendencies of our own central government.
Because they had been through a tyranny.
Absolutely. They had lived it. They'd experienced it. They knew that the American people were not properly armed and prepared to defend themselves, that they would not maintain freedom very long. As I see it, Alex, those are the two major defenses that we have left at this point in time in our history. And I think we need to start focusing on our state governments, our governors' races, our
instead of getting 60% turnout for a presidential election, how about 60% locally? And this is do or die. And I want to talk more about solutions with you and then try to jam in a few calls with Chuck Baldwin today. But Chuck, how do you see the globalists countering all of this? Because the pendulum is clearly swinging back. There's a huge political realignment. The system even admits. Did you read the Financial Times of London where Robert Shapiro told Obama, you need an Oklahoma City or a 9/11 so that you can look like a powerful leader? I'm really concerned, Chuck, about them staging crises.
I am too. And Don McElvaney, I was with him in Denver just this past weekend. We had a great conference out there with some real terrific patriots. And he talked about that very thing as well. He's concerned that there could be some kind of a false flag terrorist attack of some sort between now and the elections. Yeah, I think what they're going to try to do is what they've done, and that is to try to demonize people like us, like the Mayak Report and these other things, and they're going to go to their stooges there in Montgomery at the SLP and try to categorize us as nuts and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, I do believe that the pendulum is swinging toward state sovereignty, state independence, especially in some states. Not all the states, of course. Some of the states are too far gone. But the states along in the Southwest and Oklahoma and even in Texas where you are, though I know you got a big battle there with the big cities, the big city governments that you're fighting. But you go to Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, the Dakotas. You go down to Utah. I mean, there's even Tennessee, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Vermont. There's a lot of states around the country that are really, really beginning to see increased activity among their people for the freedom fight. And I really think it's going to continue. And I'm not pessimistic at all, Alex. I do believe that we can win this thing.
Well, I agree with you. And, for those that just tuned in, we're not joking about this. This is so hardcore when you study the facts and what the feds even admit they're doing. And they've already stolen so much money and done so many illegal things. They're not backing off. People need to understand, just like other countries have fallen to tyranny, it's happening here. And everybody needs to hit their knees and pray to God to also, give them discernment. And people need to realize all of you are leaders in this fight. Whatever you can do now to spread the word that what's happening in Washington is illegal and the solution is at the states and that the globalists are going to pull out every dirty trick they can. I had a caller earlier that trains law enforcement in Texas, and he said what you had just said. In fact, it's incredible. He said that they're training at the fusion centers and getting the hardcore killers from Iraq and selecting, kind of the lunatics that have been mentally, broken down by 3, 4, 5 tours, and that they are forging them as pretty much a school of America's takeover operation, secret police, torture, everything here in the United States. And he wanted me to ask you about that in School of Americas.
Well, I've heard these things, and I certainly do not discount them. And in fact, Joel Skousen, in his most recent newsletter, he mentioned that as well. And Joel, as you know, is as well researched as any man in America. I think that is going on. But again, I want to focus on what you just said, and that is the answer is a resurrection, a revival, a resurgence of state independence and sovereignty. The founders were so wise. Whenever the Constitution was created in 1787, the states did not surrender their sovereignty. They still maintained their independence. And I think that at the end of the day, Alex, it is going to be the state governments, the governors and the leaders and the people of those states that are going to stand up and they're going to put this new world order in their place. And I tell you, I do think that they're worried about that, and that means that we are on the right track.
God bless you. Stay there. Chuck Baldwin's our guest. We'll give you his website when we come back.
You've seen our SinoFresh banner on the GCN website.
Yet your sinusitis is still a problem.
Are you waiting for your sinusitis to go away by itself?
Are you waiting for a SinoFresh discount?
Okay, here it comes.
But first, the facts.
67 other products merely treat symptoms.
And not the cause of sinus problems.
And 37 million Americans suffer from sinus distress just like you. But now many are finding relief with the only patent-protected homeopathic nasal product that antiseptically eliminates the known causes of sinusitis. SinoFresh.
Now, here's your limited time discount offer to use SinoFresh.
Call 888-906-3636 right now for $2 off per bottle when you mention GCN. That's it. Just call 888-906-3636 and mention GCN for a $2 discount.
But hurry, this offer is only for the first 1,000 customers.
Call 888-906-3636. 888-906-3636. Call right now for $2 off per bottle.
Mention GCN.
Buy SinoFresh.com. It works.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
You know, we've got Chris, Clarence, Bill, a bunch of former military people. I'm going to have an hour of the show open tomorrow, and I want to hear from you about what we've been talking about, but we're so limited on time. I'm not going to be able to go to those calls. We just got 5 minutes left. I apologize, and please call us back tomorrow, because we're almost out of time here. Chuck Baldwin, you've got the floor in the last 5 minutes. ChuckBaldwinLive.com. You've got your Top Secret America, the rest of the story article out that's excellent. I'm glad you reminded me about Joel Skousen. Of course, Cleon Skousen, his uncle, wrote The Naked Communist, or was the Naked Capitalist, I forget, exposing the whole banker takeover. And he's a great guy. I'm going to get him on about his intel about using the troops in Iraq domestically. But that's now all admitted. But in closing, Obama is dropping like a rock. The globalists are cornered rats. They're not invincible, but so many Christian churches have been taught that it's the end of the world, so we should just lay down and go along with Romans 13. As a pastor, what's your view on that?
Man, you just hit my hot button, Alex. I tell you what, we would not be in the shape we're in today if the pastors in America had not just laid down on the job. Some of it's the 501c3 tax-exempt status. Some of it is just plain old-fashioned laziness. Some of it is ignorance. But whatever the reason, they have used that Romans 13 mantra for so long to sedate the churches of this country and to cause them to be lethargic, and they're using it against us. And I'm sure that for some of them it's not intentional, but boy, that result